Okay. Good morning, everyone, or afternoon, depending on where you are, or evening, perhaps. I'm Lauren, and Lisa is my partner with Artis Moving, and we want to welcome you to what we think will be such an amazing day, the Take an Art Break Symposium. This year's theme is Art is a Lifeline. Our first workshop this morning is going to be using art to find calm in an uncertain world. I'm just going to pass it off to Sharon and Artis, and I'm going to spotlight them so you can see them.
Okay, just want to say hello and welcome to the first session. I am so happy to be here, and I am hoping that this will be a worthwhile workshop for you. I am here with my good friend and fellow artist, Artis Moon. We are going to be presenting an interactive workshop with the topic about using art as a way for health, for mental health, for wellness, and really giving a sense of how that works for you as an artist. I am, of course, Sharon Burton, the co-presenter, and I am an artist, a poet, and a creativity coach of Spark Your Creative Coaching. Very happy to be here. And my partner in crime today is Artis Moon. She is also an artist and a healer, a wellness coach and healer, Reiki master, and she'll tell you more when she starts, but she and I have been working hard to create something that I think would be very helpful to you. I am going to share my screen and just go through a few slides. I think it's really important to kind of get a handle on how art can be healing and can be a place for self-care. I think a lot of people see art as a hobby or something for commercial reasons or whatever, but I think, and I think it's really apropos to talk about this at the beginning of this symposium, and also share a little bit about why it is important. And I'm not able to share my screen right now. So if they can make that adjustment. If not, I can just speak from the slides. It doesn't matter.
You should be able to share your screen now.
Okay.
If not, well, I'll try something else.
All right.
There we go.
Okay. And for some reason, I can't get this on slide mode. So we'll just work with it as it is. And you should have these in your notes, by the way. We're talking about the health benefits of creative self-expression. And I think that's really important to understand that there is some science behind this. It's not just something that, oh, it makes me feel good. There is a piece to this that is backed by science. And, you know, we are in an age where science has and has not been as important as it could be or should be. But I think that as artists, as people that are creative, it's important to understand that there is some benefits to creative self-expression. There are actually 3 benefits: mental health, brain power, and physical benefits. Mental health, drawing, which we'll be doing some of those activities today, painting or sculpture, has been scientifically proven to help people with trauma. And it also may contribute to the maintenance or reconstruction of a positive identity, particularly people that have been dealing with self-confidence issues, self-esteem issues. Creativity in the form of art can really help bring a sense of purpose and pride to oneself. Brain power, particularly whether we consider ourselves creative in the sense as an artist or not. Brain power, of course, is very important to our jobs and to a lot of things that we do. And you know, as we expand on our thought of what self-expression, creative self-expression is, things such as music training, acting, writing, which you know, a lot of us are passionate creatives, that does benefit in the area of brain power, of recognition and cognition. Research has shown that writing with a pen and paper versus typing can enhance learning and memorization. It is also more healing. If you hear about people talking about the benefits of journaling, you know, it's really about putting the hand to paper than, let's say, typing. You know, your thoughts on paper is really something that is much more beneficial. Play acting can improve psychological well-being as well, if pursued regularly. Physical benefits, listening to music may help restore the immune system. And that, of course, is very important right now as we've been fighting a pandemic for 2.5 years, versus the amygdala, I can never say that word, and hypothalamus, two nerve endings in the brain and in the that go up to the brain. And of course, certain dancing can improve blood pressure and other health benefits as well. So, you know, we're going to be doing a lot of more visual arts today, but I think it's important to understand how important all creative self-expression can be for you. And these are just some of the different places that I got this information for your info. But if you do a good Google search, you'll find a lot of good information about the benefits of self-expression and really how important it is to us at this time with so much going on. And I really give kudos to you and to Artis Moving for putting this together, because we need art, and art has really been helping us get through the pandemic, but also understand that there is also sort of a basis to this. It's not just about it makes us feel good, but there is some good science that backs us up on that. So anyway, so just wanted to give that little foundation. If you're like me and have a day job and you have to look at this stuff all the time, we didn't want to make it a big you know, presentation, but I do want to introduce Artis again, who's going to take us to the interactive portion. And this exercise, and she's going to tell you a little bit more about it, is one of those exercises that you can do to address different issues that you're dealing with on the day-to-day. And we thought this is something simple that people can do and be able to recall if necessary. I think it's a good art break, but most importantly, it is great for your mental well-being. So I will open this up to Artis.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to be here with you today. Just to say, it was really like I was just laughing to myself or giggling to myself through your whole presentation, because, you know, seeing all of those things and reflecting on my own journey, you know, I have been using art as a form of mental health management intuitively since I was a kid. And I think that that's a big part of what has brought me full circle back to, I was I'm an interdisciplinary artist. I was in the arts and arts education, both visual art and performing arts, for 20 years or so before I decided to shift to serve people in a different way and shifted gears to the healing arts. But art and art making and art processes and all of that is still very much a big part of my practice. And it is so incredibly useful. Art was my first meditation. I wound up becoming a meditation teacher, but art was really, as I started doing this work that I'm doing now more and more with people, I've been able to just recognize how I've been doing so much of this since I was a kid as a survival mechanism. So the practice that we're going to do today comes from the Center for Mind Body Medicine, which is based in DC, where I'm located. I have done a great training with them, and it sums up, as I said, the way that I've been doing since a child, using art to kind of make sense of my life, make sense of what is going on in my life. I think it's especially useful when there is trauma involved. And unfortunately, most of us have trauma. My work is very much trauma informed, as well as the Center for Mind Body Medicine. That's what they're all about. So the reason it's so useful sometimes to just communicate with yourself through art making versus hamster wheel talking or even journaling is because it allows you to bypass the conscious mind and really access knowing on a deeper non-verbal level in yourself. So as you'll find today, the practice that we're going to do, when you take a quick break, you come into a mindful state, which I'm going to guide you briefly with a short mindfulness meditation when we begin. When you take a few minutes, and the tools that I'm sharing, they're easy. You can take them and use them on your own anytime. When you take a short mindfulness break, just bring yourself into your body and your present moment and your breath, basically. And then you give yourself a moment to reflect and just draw. And then look at that afterwards and explain it to yourself, explain it to somebody else, reflect on what you see. It just helps you get right to the heart of the matter and get clarity so much faster and in a deeper way than we do just by talking about things sometimes. So I'd love to know, I'm going to see how many more people have joined since we began. I'd love to know, just a quick show of hands, how many people have a meditation practice already or have experience with meditation?
And if you don't have your camera on, if you want to just put in the chat, that would be great.
Yeah, you can do a hands up. Cool. Okay, so some looks like we have a mixture. So, if you don't have any experience with meditation, there are as many ways to practice as you can imagine. I think in general, you will find the connecting threads that are common among most practices are present moment awareness, bringing awareness into your body. And especially in today's society, it's so important because we live up in our heads. Our minds feel like they're, way bigger than our bodies sometimes. And bringing awareness into your breath. And then, you can also choose to slow your breath down, which is very, very useful for entering deeper states of relaxation and all kinds of physiological benefits. That could be a whole separate workshop. Okay. So today I'm going to just guide you through very basic mindfulness meditation practice, which is just those three things, like just coming into the moment, coming into your body, becoming aware of your breath. We're going to slow the breath down a little bit for a moment. And then I'm going to ask you some questions for reflection. And even one of the things that was mentioned in Sharon's presentation about play acting is so useful and therapeutic. It's also very useful for manifesting change in your life inside of meditation. If you get yourself into a nice, deep, relaxed state, and that you let yourself just begin to daydream about whatever shift, because we all are always working through a shift at any moment in our life, right? So whatever your shift is right now, let yourself have some constructive time to daydream about what it would look like if things went this way or if things went that way. So that's a little bit of what we're going to do, a taste of that today. All right. So everybody has drawing materials close by. Yes. Constructive daydreaming is awesome. We got to get off the hamster wheel. When our mind is trying to do that, just like shut it down. No, not right now. Do something physical, do something else. And then let yourself have those reflections and those dialogues in a more intentional way inside of a meditation practice. So you have your drawing materials close by. You can just, if they're in your lap already or right in front of you, you can leave them there. Otherwise, you can just set it aside for a moment and maybe just let your hands rest in your lap, either with your hands on your legs, or you can nest them like this in your lap if that feels good to you. And just if you are in a chair where you're reclining or leaning back a little bit, if you're willing to come off the back of that chair for a moment and just let your spine find a little bit more of an alertness. You can even wiggle around the spine for a moment. Just feel the crown of your head, which is the top center of your head, reaching towards the sky. And you can either close your eyes or let your gaze soften, perhaps peeking out through your lashes, like when you're a little kid pretending to be asleep. And just let yourself feel a sense of dropping into your body. Almost like you're dropping right in through the top of your head. And let yourself just feel this settling awareness of your physical body. Feeling supported by the surface beneath you. Feeling your contact points with the surface beneath you. Noticing this present moment. Just letting yourself really locate yourself in time and space. Notice the sounds that you hear in your environment. And then begin to bring your awareness to your breathing. And notice the sound of your breath as you take 3 deep cleansing breaths, breathing in through the nose, and then letting it out with a sigh through the mouth. Don't be afraid to make some sound on the exhale. Each breath in being a bit more expansive than the one before. And on the out breath, really just feeling yourself soften. And then we're going to take 5 deep intentional breaths. And as we do so, you can just let yourself acknowledge any thoughts or feelings that you're noticing in the beginning of this meditation. Breathing in together, 5, breathing in. 5, I'm breathing out. 4, breathing in. 4, I'm breathing out. 3, I'm breathing in. 3, I'm breathing out. 2, I'm breathing in. 2, I'm breathing out. Last 1, breathing in. 1, breathing out. Just notice how you feel in this moment. Notice what's shifted for you. just in the past 5 minutes. Now just continue to let yourself be aware of the physical sensation of your body and your breathing as you listen to my words. As I said, at any given moment, we are all in the midst of some shift or another. So let yourself just take a snapshot right now in this moment of where you are in your life, locating yourself in time and space on a bigger picture level. If you were viewing your life as a timeline, seeing this point on the timeline, and just let yourself call forth that image. What does that look like? Where are you right now in your life? Without overthinking it, just notice if the thoughts and feelings that are coming up have a location in your body. All right, and then slowly open your eyes. And I invite you to experiment with keeping your eyes at a bit more of a soft gaze. Really keep your attention and awareness in your body as you draw. And you're just going to free flow. You have 5 minutes to draw on paper or whatever. You may be painting, whatever art materials you have ready. Draw me now. Let it free flow. What comes out? It doesn't have to be recognizable images. It can be shapes, colors, textures. No censoring, no editing, no erasing. And I'm going to put on some just music to help hold the space. We will give you a 1 minute warning. And note that when we give the warning, don't feel rushed. The idea is these are supposed to be quick. And if you're not done and or you want to add on to it later, you can absolutely do so or turn it into a full piece of art. But don't come at this from the process of, it doesn't matter what it looks like. It doesn't have to be a beautiful picture. It doesn't have to mean anything to anybody but you. drawing to a pause. And now just close your eyes again for a moment. The next drawing is my biggest problem. So like I said, we all have a shift that we are working through. What is the big challenge or obstacle that you are facing at this moment in your life? Perhaps something that's preventing you from getting where you want to be. What is your biggest problem? Notice what comes up for you. Notice if you feel it anywhere in your body in particular. And then you can open your eyes and begin to draw. You have 5 minutes.
1 minute. 1 minute. Time.
All right. So coming to a pause again. Close your eyes once more. Just let yourself acknowledge any feelings that came up as you did the last drawing or the last two drawings. And now the third drawing, visualize my biggest problem solved. What does that look and feel like? Notice if that feeling has a home in your body. My biggest problem solved. Not from the head. Open your eyes and go. You have 5 minutes. Remember to stay anchored in your body. Let yourself be aware of any thoughts and feelings that arise.
Minute left. Minute left. Time.
All right, so now I want you to look at the three drawings together. And if you could distill the message that is there for you into a word, a phrase, or a sentence, what would it be? Go ahead and write it down. You can take 1 minute. All right. So we would love to open it up, and I personally am happy when things like this, it's not a huge group because it gives people a little bit more time to share. So we'd love to, and it's risky because I know we're on a tight schedule, so we need to make sure that it doesn't go beyond the last 15 minutes that we have here. But I would love to give you all an opportunity to share. If you want to hold up and show, it's a little challenging, but we're all getting used to this virtual world. So if you want to hold up and share what you created, I'm going to show you. I did the process also, and this is my drawing. I did them all on the same page, and if you can see here in the middle, there's a circle. It was empty. That circle represents me. Me now was this shape, and it was kind of like I'm getting my life in order. I'll keep it brief, but I'll just say I'm getting my life in order. And this was kind of like, I'm also often represented as a circle. And then the lines, I was kind of like, those are like roots. Problem, I was like, for the first time maybe ever, I don't feel like I really have a problem right now. Like I'm leaning into my tools and I'm at peace with the shifts that I'm going through. So I don't really feel like there is a problem. This is kind of me sinking into the ground. And then this became at the end an idea of a seed. The trees are me also. My biggest problem solved is me really being rooted and really blossoming and blooming and being abundant. And trust was the message, which I wound up writing in the center of the circle. So just to give you a brief idea of how, if you want to share, if you want to do a quick interpretation of your drawing, there's less than 15 people. So as long as everybody keeps it, to about a minute, a couple of people can go too. If you would prefer to just share in the chat box what your revelation was, anything that you want to share about the experience of doing this process, it's something that can be a really great tool in your toolkit to just help you get clear on, whatever's going on. So anything you
yeah,
about the process, jump in, Lauren.
I'm gonna say that I love that, and it's so funny because I'm like a big proponent to take an art break, and it was my reminder, like maybe you should take some, because I'm so busy telling everybody else what to do, which is kind of also who I am too in my own life with 3 children. But my sentence was take it one step at a time was the message that I was given, because this is me, totally me, like free flowing, but like lots of repetition. And then this is how this was my big problem, which is I have a really long to-do list and I'm feeling super frazzled. But then this was what I was my message to myself was just, take it one step at a time, do one thing at a time, and it'll be all right. So that was awesome. Thank you for that.
I can relate. I'm a mom of 3 too. So yes, you can't do everything every day, all the time. Just one step at a time. Do what you can do. Thank you. Who's next?
I'll go.
Okay.
So mine is healing within, and this is like my back where I have chronic muscle spasms. And then for my biggest problem, I have my service dog who is not well. Unfortunately, the solution is not a good solution. I don't know if you see that, but the solution is a new service dog, and my little one is really little. She's going on 14 now, and she, anytime I wake up, she curls up with me until I go back to sleep, and then she moves again. And so I'm on the list for a new service dog, but that takes time. And that scares me because I'm so dependent on these guys, and I'm stuck in limbo, and I hate that feeling. I want to move forward and heal.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Sending you so much love. Thank you for sharing. And I hope that you got what you need and your sweet little baby has a peaceful departure. Jesse, would you like to share?
Sure. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
I'm new to this Zoom thing, so okay. So I usually draw on like little thumbnails. So I forgot which one. I forgot the first prompting, but I kind of it's almost like a yin yang with the chaos and order, but it's human beings. And so like I don't know. So right now I'm going through like a little bit of stuff with my religion, like where I'm like questioning some stuff. So a lot of it's like, oh wow. And it's kind of popped up through the pandemic where I was starting to see things that I normally wouldn't have seen. So sometimes my problem is, so the problem is I felt like a little gut instinct in my gut. He told me, and then there's like a little church back in the background. And then like, I want like inspiration. And so there's like light coming down, but sometimes I'm seeing dark. I don't know. So it's kind of interesting working through that. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that was bothering me as much as it was.
Yes.
And then the problem solved is just like going on with my own like spirituality regardless, and like writing more things that I feel about. And so I put like a book in the sky because I'm getting more inspired to write things. it still has a religious twist to it sometimes. So like Eastern philosophy meets Christianity kind of stuff. And so that's kind of where I'm at in my own journey, I guess.
Beautiful.
So, yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing. I think a lot of people, especially during the pandemic, I've heard a lot of people kind of having those type of awakenings and starting to question things that they believed before and starting to see the intersection of different belief systems and shifting to more spiritual orientation, which is not in contradiction with whatever your faith is, you know? So thank you. And you see why that process is so useful, because you didn't know that that was such a big thing. And now you learned something. So thank you. Is it Darren? Darren or Doreen? Darren, would you like to share? You can say pass. If anybody doesn't want to share, you're welcome to say pass.
It's Darren. And
Darren.
So this is me on my journey somewhere up here. I've been on a very long climb, 18-year climb. My biggest obstacle at this point is red tape. And the solution is wandering into that meadow at the end of the climb and taking the red tape and just turning it into something decorative.
Beautiful. I love it. Thank you so much. May it be so. Let's see who else. Heidi, would you like to share?
Hi there. So my first was more just kind of like natural world, my environment, and then kind of challenge was like all the pieces of that and them kind of feeling fractured, and not really connected. And so the solution to that is just figuring out a way for them to be blended and integrating those, so that, they kind of become one. And so that my sentence was like blending, pieces of my world to come together.
Beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, you can create. Oh, I see. You already know. You know about creating mantras. I see your mantras on the board behind you. So create a mantra for yourself around this. Like, all of the pieces of my life blend in perfect harmony, or something to that effect, and just keep working with the visualization of that. Thank you. Rachel, would you like to share? Okay, thank you so much. How about Debbie? Did she say pass too? LJ said pass. Harmony. Somebody said they love harmony. What about Allison? Or it looks like maybe Debbie is trying to share. Okay, Allison says pass. Is there anybody else that would like to share? Lisa, did you want to share?
Sure, I'll go. I love the process. I needed it. I kind of like when you were doing the first meditation, I was like, oh, I need this. First one was, I don't know if you can see that, it's kind of like I'm on a journey, a very wonderful journey, but I found that the problem is I cannot see the light through the problem. And I'm not that way, but I recognize that. But then when I had the solution, when I had the problem with my shoulders, felt very heavy. It was really like heavy on my shoulders. And then I went to the solution, and it was really my heart, and it was like heart-centered. And my big problem's gift is opportunity to grow and expand. So I created the fern, the archetype of all life and growth. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you so much. Is there anybody else that didn't share yet that would like to?
This is Debbie. I'm sorry I lost connection, so I got back in, but I noticed that the problem was fear holding me back, and yet that could be used for the good too. So you can use it as strength. It's a warning, so it's safety. So just looking at it from a different perspective, how you can utilize that, the fear that's holding me back.
Yes. Yes, you hit the nail on the head. Fear can be your ally. You know, we can let it rule us and let it become our enemy, or we can approach our fear with curiosity and, you know, try to understand, like, what is it? What is it warning us about? Exactly. Thank you for sharing that. And let's see, there was something else in the chat here that I wanted to Lisa asked, does anyone have any ahas from others' processes?
I felt really connected to what Heidi was saying in terms of feeling like, because when you first started the process, I'm like, I'm doing great. This is nice. I'm so happy to be here. And then when I started to actually look at the drawings, I realized that although I do enjoy being busy and I like feeling accomplished, it can drag me down, and that I have to remember that it is about that harmony that you know, that kind of Heidi came to, which is you can have it all, but you have to find that way to blend it and balance it in a healthy way. So thank you for that, Heidi. Thank you to everyone for being, I always forget that people who sign up for these things are so open and honest. And I really, really, really appreciate it, because I always learn so much from everyone else. So thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I always really like to leave time for sharing at the end, because in some way it's like the gold nugget of the whole thing. Getting to hear and understand other people's experiences and realizing that, you know, your experience is more relatable than you realized, you know, just making those connections. So just remember, everybody, that you can do this on your own, including, like Lauren, you said, you know, you realized you need an art break. You're an artist, you're a busy mom, and we tell other people to do it, but then we don't do it ourselves, right? So this is a great way to do it, because it takes the pressure off. It's like, you don't have to have a lot of time. 5 minutes, 15 minutes, you know. Remember, if you want to incorporate meditation in your life, what I introduced in the beginning, just, you can put music on or not, eyes open or not, but just coming into your body, really letting yourself drop into the moment, not thinking about the future or the past, just this moment. Be aware of your body, feel your body, notice what you're feeling in your body, and then bring your awareness to your breath. And what we didn't have time to do is then slow the breathing down even more, which really facilitates relaxation and so many great physiological responses in the body, just in brief, I'll say. So it's the mind-body connection, especially if you're stressed out, you're prone to depression and anxiety. Stop and take 5 breaths on purpose. You guys felt what a big difference that made, right? Just 5 breaths. So thank you all so much for joining us for this portion of the day. And thank you for Art is Moving for hosting this wonderful workshop. And yeah.
I hope that this was also just something easy to do when you're facing a problem and your anxiety and everything comes up. It gives you a chance to come down and to do something creative, and just learn that it's just a way of self-care. And you can do yoga, you can do massage, whatever, but this is self-care, and this is an easy way to do that. So hopefully that was helpful to you.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, everybody. If anyone has any last final thoughts they would like to share, please do. If not, I'm going to put in the link right now to our website, and that's where you will see the next 2 sessions before we come back for our next workshop.
I'd just like to say that I appreciated Artis's sharing of how she did them all 3 on the same page. That I thought that would have been helpful. I did mine separate, but that would have been neat to see them all together.
We'll do it again and do it that way. I usually do them, usually when I'm leading it in a workshop, I do them as 3 separate. And I just felt inspired to keep adding on to the same page. So sometimes I do them as separate drawings, and sometimes I do them all on one page. So play around with it and do it again and do it all on one page and see what happens. But thank you for sharing that.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. This was awesome. Great way to kick off the day. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing everyone again for our next workshop. Enjoy the next performances and conversations. They are wonderful. So I'm excited for you to get to experience them. And we will see you back